between an entity and your own staff as to what the true status is. Always believe your staff. Yeah. We have gone through this in other committees as well. In the Committee of Transport, we have had this problem with this same entity, that they claim they have sent documents on time and they have no physical. Because if you came, if you wanted to show this, to demonstrate this, it's very easy, and the county attorney is there. The county attorney knows that if you have a receipt, it is for you to produce a receipt. It can't be for the clerk to look for the receipt. Because the question has been posed to you. But anyway, Chair, I don't know what you want to guide as you wait.
Chair, there is no guiding in this.
No, as we wait for the confirmation, maybe we could process a few other issues that I had requested the committee to allow me to raise as AOB, because it revolves around the same issues of correspondence.
Chair, may you look at the synchrony between the letter that the clerk received, right? Or rather, the alleged letter that the clerk received vis-a-vis the letter that the auditor received. Can we get harmony between those two?
Senator,
can we just ask the auditor if they are dated the same day?
The letter that the auditor received is from Nairobi Water. Is from Nairobi Water. Is not from the governor. Because us, we wrote a letter to the governor. So the governor was responding to us. But the responses were, I believe they were done by Nairobi Water. So Nairobi Water wrote to the auditor with an attached letter. That is the letter they have.
On different dates.
Same letter.
Huh? On different dates.
What dates are indicated there, auditor?
Chair, the letter received from Nairobi City County is dated on the 17th of June 2025, signed by the managing director and also copied to the clerk of the County Assembly of Nairobi.
17th June. And from the governor it was 20? What time? 26th of June.
16th.
16th. Senator Amida?
No, I just wanted to say that when a governor being the CEO of the county under Article 179, I think you should have just made sure that all these documentations, and if I had Yusuf right, was that he said such copies also sent on soft copies. And the soft copies also could suffice.
Chair.
Yes, Governor.
The document that I sent with the responses was received by the Senate on the 20th of June, 2025. I have the stamped copy that is being printed. It is stamped received at the Senate.
So you can table it.
Chair, I've asked a substantive question.
This is a scan. When we do that, we scan.
Chair, I've asked a substantive question. If the letter to the auditor went on the 17th, how is it possible that the letter to us came on the 16th?
Because I'm the one who wrote to the Senate.
Was it an anticipation? Yeah, I have the letter.
Chair, the question was whether the letter was owned, whether it came on time. Your clerk has told you it came on time, and I have the evidence that it was received by yourselves. I think we are splitting hairs for nothing. Let's go to the substance, Chair, respectfully.
Yeah.
And I have it here, received by the Senate.
Yeah, let me have a look at that letter.
Yeah, I'm getting it printed.
What is the issue?
Yeah, Chair, there are a few issues that I had hoped that we would have a conversation with the governor, and it is revolving around water issues in Nairobi. Governor, in all honesty, I also have a problem with the office in terms of how they treat correspondence. Your office never responds to correspondence. And this is not just from me. I have letters here from members of the County Assembly addressed to your various departments, and the complaint is the same throughout the leadership of Nairobi, that your office does not respond to correspondence. The first one leaders that I've spoken about. And I had written to you on the 27th of May, 2025. This letter was received in the office on the 28th of May, 2025. I have a copy here with me, Chair, and it was regarding water connections in Ruai Ward. And there has been no response, Governor. I had occasion to run into Engineer Muguna at the airport a few weeks back, and I asked him the same question, but there has been no response. So it becomes very difficult for us as representatives of the people to give feedback to the people when we can't ourselves be given that information. So perhaps we could start there, Chair. If the governor is in a position to answer this today, because this is the only place we can now have this conversation, it is possible. You can say maybe you will need time to answer, but maybe that's because the water company is there. The residents of Ruai are concerned about delayed household water connections. And the information we got was that the major pipeline project by Athi Water Works and Nairobi Water was largely complete. There are over 22,000 households that have paid 5,000 shillings each for connections, and yet those connections have not been had. Is it possible for us to response today on that particular issue? Secondly, Honorable Chair, there's a meeting that I held with sewerage system, specifically in Roysambu Ward, and the complaint there, Honorable Governor, was that the residents of Nyati Drive in that particular ward were omitted from the construction of the sewerage that was going on. And perhaps you can also, if it is possible today, Governor, give a response so that the people of Nyati Drive know the current situation. Thirdly, Honorable Chair, there was a request from the Honorable Sospita Mumbi, who's the MCA for Roysambu, for construction of a borehole at GSU Primary School and Secondary School in Roysambu Ward. There's a letter to you, Honorable Governor, to your Chief Officer for Water, and it is received on the 21st of February 2024, which is more than a year ago. There has been no response, Governor, to the Honorable MCA on that particular request, just to say yes or no, so that he doesn't waste time running around offices. And lastly, Honorable Chair, this is a letter from the Marurui Residents Alliance, and they were raising questions of the sewerage coverage within Marurui as well. Honorable Governor, I'm sure you are familiar with this matter, that has left many high-rise buildings unconnected to the main sewerage line. So perhaps, Governor, if you can identify any of those issues that we can get responses today as we wait for the committee to get its act together, then maybe you can indicate. But if you do not have, I would appreciate if there were formal responses coming from your county government whenever leaders raise this question, so that we don't have to waste too much time on it. I thank you, Honorable Chair.
Thank you. Senator Sifuna, you know that matter can be raised under agenda AOB. So on the basis that it's a very important issue and you had asked the committee to bring up that matter, I think we handle it as AOB. So I'll bring the AOB first before we go to agenda number 4. So Governor, you can respond to your senator on the issues that he has raised.
Chair, the more detailed ones, they can get a response a bit later. But what I know, for instance, in Ruai, parts of Ruai Ward are now connected. We've had a challenge. That's the biggest ward in this county. It's possibly an 8th, In Kasarani constituency, right now for the water, we have reached Kangundo Road to Ruai Market. And then there's a pipe from Jiru Railway Station that goes towards to cover the Infinity area. That is already ongoing. And there are many others, because that goes hand in hand with the Utawala. Yeah, the Utawala area. It's a similar part. And there are many other laterals that we're doing around that area. So I will ask the MD to maybe just give, not now, but to prepare, yeah? Because Kasarani has two sides. There's the Kamulu side, Ruai, Mwiki, and this other side of Santon. Currently for Siwa, at Kasarani police station, yeah, we're developing, there's a diversion that is now connecting to the trunk Siwa along Mwiki Kangundo Road. That one is something that is also ongoing. I think it's a great opportunity to give a larger update of all the improvements that have been going on in the last year, and I will be able to share that with you, Senator. Including, I think, what would form part of today's discussion on the, what we call reshrilling, you know, of the piping in the CBD. Because a lot of the reason you have that non-revenue water is because of the old pipes that have leakage and connected to the old fire system in the city. And as soon as that is done, now we'll reduce the non-revenue water by 2,000 cubic meters per hour. Yeah, that is what is currently ongoing. So there's Santon, there's Clay City, there's Kariobangi North at National Concrete, that is also ongoing. The side of Kawangware 46, all the way coming into Chalby Drive. Chai, you also know that we're doing 54 kilometers of trunk Siwa, 1.8 by 2.4 meters, that goes hand in hand with the river program. South Sea is a place that has had similar challenges. What we have there is something called condominium sewers. Those condominium sewers are sewers that are not on a way live, that are in people's property, just like Isili, because of the planning. But now we've been able to get a major pipeline from the northern bypass coming into Akiba, connecting to Ole Shapara, down until Kongoni Primary School. Then at Kongoni Primary School, where we have the Kenya Power substation, it connects to the larger trunk Siwa. And then now we're doing further laterals along the Ngong River line. So, I mean, Chair, I can give a lot of that. As for the MCA who wants a borehole, we do a lot of induction, and we tell them how to get a project. Projects are not received by a letter. They are budgeted for, they are appropriated by the MCAs themselves. In fact, they even indicate that this financial year we're going to do boreholes in this place, or we're going to do a road in this place. And so it's part of that process. I think maybe the issue is him being told or responded to. But that is really the process. You know, we don't give projects based on request by a letter, but based on a medium-term framework, an appropriation bill, and it's a process you all know because you're legislators and you're also going through the same. Chair, on water, I think it will be of benefit for this committee and for Nairobians to know we've made huge improvements, increasing 160 cubic meters, 160 million liters a day, courtesy of NCT1 and Karimenu. And many of you might attest to increased water. So if you need me to go through that, I'll be able to
Governor, just to be specific to the areas that we've raised,
yes.
What would you say, like, of the 22,000 households that had already paid for connection in Rwai?
That's what I've told you is ongoing.
Just give us a status, and maybe the reasons for the delay. There are also allegations that some people had paid and they're being asked to pay again. This 5,000 shillings, is it receipted?
Of course.
They are
That's the way
receipts.
it is paid. I'll ask the MD to give you details of that, and maybe also he can talk about Nyati Drive.
Please,
and,
those specific areas.
And Resambo. But for a more comprehensive response, because I'm sure he's also heard it now, we can write back. MD,
Thank you so much.
maybe respond to the issue of the Ruai.
Utawara area, where, just like the governor has said, actually Ruai, want to put Miango, Utawara, they take around that 8% of the surface area of the city. And those areas have not been having any of our infrastructure. It's now they are being done by Adi Waterworks and Development Agency. Now, like the work you're asking, Bwana Senator, Adi is responsible for development of the infrastructures there through Credit K 1135 funded by AFD. Now that credit, the work entails doing the main lines, lateral lines, plus the connections. Now, that work is not yet complete, Senator. There are customers whose work is complete. We are giving them the meters. But the responsibility of laying the pipes up to the customer premises is being done by other waterworks development agencies, known as City Water and Sewerage Company, and the credit I've spoken about. A comprehensive report actually can be handed over to you through the governor's office. Immediately we leave here, because we have also been following up those matters on the ground. The customers are ours, they are not others customers. So we have been following up what they are doing, and we have a comprehensive report which we can hand over to you immediately we leave here. On Nyati court of Roysambo area. Roysambo also some times back under the NDB funding, the same other waterworks development agencies did a lot of projects in those areas. Also those areas, I'm sure you are aware, there are no CWAs, Dome, Maroroi, Ruai, Simaman, they were being developed last year, and still the contract is on the ground. So they will be incorporated if they were in the original designs, the original plan. So I can also counter-check with other waterworks and development agency whether this particular court is supposed to be seaward under this program. On just what the governor has spoken about the bow, GSU Primary School, for heaven's sake, sits just next to the main line along Outer Ring Road. So it shouldn't be having any problem of water at all. That's next to Gumba Estate, which is used by the GSU personnel. Then there is the Ruaraka Primary School, Secondary School. Then there's the GSU Primary School there.
MD, are you confirming that that school is properly served with water?
If
you
it
can
has,
be next to a pipeline and dying of thirst.
Senator, what I'm implying, if it has any water problem, it's only that we are not aware. That's a simple problem which can be solved by Monday.
Yeah, so you see the problem, Chair, is this. The MD will tell us that the problem can be solved by Monday.
If they have a problem.
Just a minute, because you have appeared before us. The broader conversation we are having is, can you please respond to correspondence from the leaders on the ground? This is a letter that was written in 2024. It has not been responded to up to date. That's the problem we have with the county government. So you are saying this because we are here. When we leave here, we will not get any correspondence or assurances that you're giving, that nothing will happen. That is the broader problem. If indeed this was a problem that could have been resolved in 2024 February, would we be here, Governor? Surely.
Now to Your Excellency and the Senator, for sure, if the MCA knew about this problem, we meet the MCAs almost every month and every day if they want. Our telephones are open. Could have resolved this problem directly. They shouldn't have come to the Senate all the way here. It's a problem which can be addressed. That's why I'm saying.
So the request I will make through the chair is that I want to see the correspondence from his office in 2024 and how they have addressed this problem. Because the leader on the ground has taken a step to write to you. You are responding here today. So please show us correspondence from 24 on how you dealt with this issue.
We can provide.
Chair, just a clarification from the water, is it director or yeah. Now, here is Senator asking a question, and you are referring the Senator to the MCA. Does it mean that the Senator has no right to represent the people in Nairobi?
Yeah. So that is completely out of context.
Yeah.
The Senator himself was referring to the MCA, Senator Mudama. And the MD is just explaining that there are many forums that, and possibly even a response. So you can get the letter. The Senator has all the rights to, in fact,
honorable members.
the Senator has a lot of rights. I was a Senator for Nairobi also. And I used to do the same. Chair, I have the letter which was received by the Senate on the 20th of June that has created a lot of, discussion. That is to the clerk, meeting with CPISFT, I received your letter dated 9th June. Attached is our responses and supporting documentation. Your own clerk confirmed that all documentation was received. The letter is stamped. Chair, before I started to give my responses, we're already being greatly accused. Yet this evidence is there. Can that be withdrawn?
Okay.
Yes.
Let me first of all
And also,
direct-
please, Chair, if you could return my copy, that one I came with. This is the one to table, the one which has your stamp.
Let me
as
first
the
of all
Senate.
direct on the matter of Senator Sifuna. I think Senator Sifuna has come up with those issues because his letter was not responded to. And that's why he used this opportunity to try and get responses. So let me direct that the letter that he has tabled here be responded to and copied to us. The responses copied to us, because I'm seeing that we are likely to spend more time responding to that in this meeting. So you respond, I think, within 7 days to Senator and possibly copy to us to confirm that the responses have been sent. Otherwise, the clerk has retrieved the signed letter, the stamped letter from the main clerk. So, honorable members, that means that the documents were actually forwarded by the governor. But the only mistake, Governor, which we must point out, is that when your people are preparing the responses, it is a standard that the letter, your letter, be attached on the responses. Even if they are sent on email, they should scan the email and send together with the rest of the document. That is the only thing that was not done.
Chair, the responses were attached to my letter.
But it's not
Are you
there.
saying how you saying we stick it physically or like it was attached? What we received today's documentation is just the same responses we were given on time, Chair. And
So-
the clerk himself has confirmed that, Chair. But before that, Chair, you had all manner of accusations, including people saying, lecturing me that I've been a senator, I should know these things, Senator Siengo. Honestly,
But,
I've responded and it was brought
Governor,
on time.
Governor, I think it is very unfair to come after the members of the committee.
But it's
Because
fair for
at
them
the
to come
time-
after
at
me.
the- Just a minute. At the time when those accusations were being made, that document was not before us. It was incumbent upon you
No, but at that point I was
to
not given
produce
the right.
the piece of paper.
The accusations were made before I was even given the chance to respond, Chair. And I just had quietly listening.
You know,
So will
that's
those
why,
be withdrawn or do they remain unanswered?
that's why I said, you know, when the documents are not in the file, members may not know. So they are
But
just.
you can give your witness a chance to respond before unwarranted attacks, where the mistake is from your side. I think that is in good order, Chair.
Anyway, let's just agree that the letter is there. Let's proceed with the substance of our meeting today, which is to look at the audit query.
Yeah, that's
You are so ready.
Chair, that's the reason why I said if those all soft copies were received, there would have been no hassle.
This was hard copy, physical.
Okay, we will proceed, honorable members. But I will allow the governor to officially table the documents that are before us, and then we proceed.
Chair, I want to put it clear that it
Yes.
was not personal. When the governor refers to Senator Siengo, I was doing my work as per this committee and as the records within the committee.
We have passed
Yes,
that stage.
we had not-
Senator. We have passed
We had
that stage.
not received that letter,
We have agreed, we are
and
proceeding.
it is not my work to find out where the documents are.
We are proceeding with the substance of the matter. So, Governor, you can proceed and table the documents.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I hereby table the management responses and accompanying annexures of the Nairobi City County Water and Sewerage Company for the financial year 2023-2024. It's tabled.
Okay. So, honorable members, can see we are doing very badly on time. It is 20 minutes past noon. You have 20 audit queries to process. So I'm just thinking that this meeting will proceed past lunchtime. So we'll proceed past lunchtime, the meeting. So Auditor, I would like you to proceed from the first query. You give a summary of the report, and then you proceed from query number 1 as included in the audit report.
Give a suggestion because of time.
Yes.
If you look at query number 1, query number 2, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, and query number 4. I don't know if you've gone through them. They're actually very similar. If you can check and the auditor can confirm, I believe those are queries that can be handled together because they are
query number
1.1, 1.2, 1.3, and then query number 4. Number 4 is the trade and other receivables. If you look at those queries, they revolve around customers. This is basically on operating revenue, estimated accounts, billed and not paid for, active accounts, not billed. So if you look at them, you know it is revolving around the same issues.
they may not be exactly the same because a query on long outstanding trade and other receivables, those are customers who owe money to the company and they have not paid for long. But if you look at 1.1, it is about accounts which are billed and are not paying. And in other cases, there are accounts which are active but are not being billed. So those are two different issues. I suggest let's just handle them separately. So auditor, proceed, give us a summary, and then you proceed to query number 1.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. A report of the Auditor General on Nairobi City Water and Sewerage Company Limited for the year ended 30th June 2024. The financial statements received qualified opinion. First paragraph is on inconsistencies in operating revenue. 1.1, estimated accounts for more than 6 months. The statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income, and as disclosed in Note 6 to the financial statements, reflects an amount of Kenya shillings 10,949,295,622 in respect to operating revenue. An analysis of the billing estimates data indicates that 112,612.20 accounts had their bills with an estimated amount of Kenya shillings 524,984,600. Further, the analysis revealed that 15,320 accounts had been estimated consecutively for more than 6 months for the period between July 2023 to that of June 2024. The estimated bills for more than 6 months amounted to Kenya shillings 184,354,986. 1.2, accounts billed and not paid for throughout the year. The statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income, and as disclosed in Note 6 to the financial statements, reflects an amount of Kenya shillings 10,949,295,622 in respect to operating revenue. A comparative analysis of water meters billing and payments reports revealed that as at 30 June 2024, a total of 23,384 accounts were billed a total of Kenya shillings 344,484,421 during the review period. However, the accounts did not have a corresponding payment. It was not clear how the accounts were billed for the whole year, and yet they did not have corresponding payment. Further, there was no evidence provided to show the accounts were disconnected for non-payment of the bills.
Chair, point of order.
Yes.
Chair, in our preliminary meeting, ordinarily we will go through query to query and then establish which ones have got the weight. Of course, some of us who had read the document not knowing there was going to be a contentious issue of forwarding had actually scanned through the query, and all these queries, I've seen them, they are very weighty. But during our preliminary meeting, we didn't have the chance to actually go through the queries. So, because we had assumed that based on the fact that they were not forwarded, therefore there was nobody who was owning them. So perhaps I wanted just to ask, before we go to that query number 1 that is finishing to read, how many queries were there and how many were addressed substantially to the auditor?
Auditor, I think auditor had given that information. He said there were 20 paragraphs, 20 queries, and only 2 were partially addressed. The remaining 18 were not addressed.
Does that concern you as a chair?
No, you should say, it's not the chair alone. You should say, does it concern you?
Does that concern the committee? That's just my question to the
Yeah,
chair.
we have 8.
Yes, Chair, I'm equally concerned.
20 queries and
20 issues and only
20
2
issues.
partially addressed.
2 are partially addressed. That's why, honorable members, in the pre-meeting, I said that these queries are all very important. And we may not really demarcate and say these ones are more important than the others. The best scenario would be we go through all the queries as they are. That is why we set entire Monday for Nairobi County, because we don't have a session. We were ready to process all the queries as they are, because they are very, very important. For example, the first query, we are talking about 194 million, where the customers, they have not, their accounts have been estimated because their meter cannot be read. That is a very serious matter that we need addressed. So each and every query, it is weighty. So we cannot say we are only going to address 5 queries and the others will leave. We have to look at all of them. And we have the time. That's why today is a Monday, to spend our time on them and discuss them. For example, the query on long outstanding trade and other payable. We are talking about 4 billion shillings worth of bills which have not been paid. That's a serious matter. So, honorable member, I'm unable to decide which one is weighty and which one is not weighty.
Chair.
I think all of them are important.
Chair, I think the question that Eddie is raising is very important. 2, I think now if they've only addressed partially 2 of the queries, then why can't you, Chair, ask the governor to tell us why the rest have not been addressed, and then we'll give direction from there?
Senator Sifuna.
Yeah, Chairman, I can appreciate the anxiety of the committee because we have spent some good amount of time arguing about ownership of the responses. But if the responses don't respond to the queries, then the question arises what we are doing here. My own advice from our own engagement at the Public Accounts Committee, we usually give the entity opportunity to answer maybe 3 or 4. And if you feel that we are not heading anywhere, the responses are being given unsatisfactory, then there is really no point to go all the way. Because Auditor General, this process is not supposed to be happening before the Senate. The audit is supposed to be completed with the Auditor General. So if they are given opportunity to respond to queries, and the auditor is telling the committee that even after the responses have been received, only 2 of the 20 issues have been addressed, then you must test the responses by the governor on a few issues, and if you feel that there is no movement in terms of the quality of the responses, then you make a decision, because it will be very unfair for us to just sit here and be told stories that don't respond to the queries that have been raised by the Auditor General.
Chair, as the governor responds, I know the customer's deposit was not one of the questions, but I would want to know how safe is the customer's deposits and in which account they are in.
Senator Mudama, I directed on that. I know your passion on
Chair,
yes.
Here he can answer.
Yeah, it will
Is
come.
here he can answer that.
It
Chair.
will come. I want us to be systematic. We have just started the first query. As Senator Sifuna says, let's proceed.
Yeah.
If along the way we notice that we are not making progress, then we can decide what to do. But you know, we cannot say we are starting, then we say customer deposit to come. I said customer deposit is an issue. It's not in the audit query. But it is an issue that we have picked. We will raise it at some point, and you'll be given that opportunity to raise it.
Chair.
Honorable Member.
Chair, to make progress, let's test what Senator Sifuna said, so that at least we make progress. You know, we have argued, we've been here for the last almost 3 hours.
Yeah.
Let us proceed the first 2 or 3 questions. If we are not satisfied, then we tell them to go. We make a decision.
Chair.
Otherwise, we will just argue.
You know the issue, the first query has 3 parts. The first query is inconsistency in operating revenue. It has three parts.
Yeah.
So what the auditor was doing was reading the 3 parts, and then the governor will make a response.
Yes.
To the 3 parts.
Let's give
on the matter of operating revenue. And then after that, we will go to the issue of debts, which are about 4 billion shillings. And then from there, the issue of land ownership, which is a substantial issue. Those 3 issues are sufficient to give us direction, a sense of what is happening there.
With your kind indulgence, I'm here to respond to audit queries, all of them. If you can allow us to give our responses, because it's a constitutional process, and that's why I'm here. The issue of 2 is to their satisfaction, but responded to the best of our ability, and that we can oath. So can you allow me to respond, Chair?
Yeah, I will allow you to respond. So we will allow the auditor to finish the 1.3, reading out, and then the governor will respond to the entire issue number 1, which has 3 parts. Ready?
Chair, I'll respect that, because and as I said, it's the committee to make a decision. But this is a committee that looks at audited queries. That means that the written responses is what strictly guides my thinking and my thought. You know, I'm saying this actually in favor of Nairobi County and the Nairobi governor, because this is the written responses that the governor has sent. And when you look at those written responses, Chair, with what the auditor is raising as not addressed, they are similar. So it will be an exercise in futility, because even if the governor tells us a lot of stories, at the end of the day when we retire, it is written response that will inform us. And this written response, Chair, 2 things are emanating. They are first, not adequately looking at what the auditor is talking about. They are also not responding to some of these questions that are very substantive. So it's either we choose to spend time going through them, as you have said. I don't have a problem with 1 or 2, 3 of them, but I'm just saving you the face that from what I've read in this, because some of us take the time to read them, okay? From what I've read in this, Chair, is not adequate, and you're going to meet the same. So,
can I make a request just on behalf of the people of Nairobi? I think it is important for these conversations to be had. And Governor, I think you are slightly misguided on an issue, that the audit does not happen in the Senate. It is not us you need to convince. It is the Auditor General who you need to convince. As you would look around this table, many of us are not professionals even in accounting. We are, you know my profession, I'm a lawyer. These officers are here to guide us. They are the ones you need to persuade or convince that an issue has been sufficiently addressed. I am also audited, as you know, as SG of ODM. The responses we give are to the satisfaction of the auditor, not anybody else. So if the auditor says, Governor, that of all this material that you've presented here, you have only partially responded satisfactorily to 2, it should bother you as the CEO of the county. So my suggestion would be the same. Let us try and test these responses, because some of them, just from a cursory look here, are just ridiculous explanations. And if you insist proceeding, Governor, let us proceed.
Chair, that's why we're here, to proceed.
Yeah, honorable members, let's proceed. Let's proceed. So, auditor, please finalize with the 1.3.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Paragraph 1.3, active accounts not billed, the statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income, and as disclosed in Note 6, the financial statements reflects an amount of Kenya shillings 10,949,295,622 in respect to operating revenue for the year ended 30th June 2024. Comparative analysis of water meters and billings revealed that as of 30th June 2024, a total of 10,192 active accounts did not receive any billing during the review period. It was not clear how the active accounts were not billed for the whole year and yet were still active. In the circumstances, the accuracy and completeness of operating revenue of Kenya shillings 10,949,295,622 could not be confirmed. Thank you.
Okay, Governor, your responses.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, on the first question, and thank you for the opportunity to respond to that. The issue of estimated accounts for more than 6 months is due to inability to access meters. And I'll allow the MD to give you more details of what we're doing, because the areas where just accessibility, the gates are closed,
Maybe before you allow the MD, just read the responses verbatim as it is.
To address this, the company is sensitizing the customers on self-meter reading through SMS reminders and the location of meters outside the gate for accessibility. I'll ask him to expand on that.
MD.
Thank you so much, Chairman, the Governor, and the members of the committee. It is true.
Engineer Muguna, just put the mic closer to.
It is true, there are meters we have estimated over a period of time. And most of the accounts we estimate, the accounts which we cannot be able to assess because maybe the gates are locked, the owners are not in the house. And what we are doing on such accounts, we have upgraded our billing system so that we can be able to be sending SMS reminders to our customers whom we are estimating the accounts. Once we estimate 3 times, we send you, or rather if we are unable to read for 3 months, we send you an alert telling you we are unable to assess your account. The other thing is, if you become notorious, we actually write to you and tell you the meter must be moved from inside your compound to outside your compound, or where we can be able to assess it easily. And that's what we are doing with many customers in this category. Thank you.
Honorable members, let me start with Senator Sifuna.
Yeah, so Chair, just let's try that response, Governor. These are 15,320 specific accounts.
Yes.
You are telling us for 6 months, you go and there's no one at this gate. 6 whole months, 6 times, that's half a year before the Auditor General flags it.
Now, what we are saying is we are aware about this account, and this is
That's
what
not
we
the
are
question.
doing.
For 6 months, every single time your officers go there, there's no one at home to open the gate. That's what you're telling the Senate.
Yes.
Okay.
The gate is locked and nobody is landed to open the gate.
Let me hear from the auditor.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Our expectation would have been if an account is estimated maybe in 1 or 2 months, then there should be some efforts to access the bill. I mean the meter readings, maybe the second or the third month, but not 6 months. 6 months, I think, is too long.
Senate ID.
Chair, you'll understand my frustrations, and that's why I was requesting that perhaps this just from the first response, I would have asked the governor to go and respond adequately, because the query is very simple, and I want it to go on record that this is the response that is official. Well, I know they will be unanswered. The responses that the is it the chief officer?
The MD.
The MD is giving is unanswered, yes, but the written response here is very, very important. Chair, that query has got 2 portions. Okay? There are accounts that were billed and not paid for throughout the year. The governor's response to that entire query is that the accounts are estimated due to inability to access the meters.
No, that's a different question, Senator ID. I was answering 1.1.
Yeah, we are still on 1.1.
Yeah, that's 1.1.
But you're asking 1.2.
No, wait. It is 1.1, 1.2.
The answer I've given, which you've asked me to read out, is 1.1.
Yes.
So wait for me to answer 1.2.
Yeah, I'm coming to that.
But accounts billed and not paid for is not about access.
I'm coming to that. Just be patient, Governor. Okay? You have got 15,000 accounts that had been estimated consecutively for more than 6 months for the period July 1st, 2023 to June 2024. The estimated bills for those months are given there. The reason why they are related all the way to 1.3 is because this is not a denotation. Denotation basically shows what could have explained 1.1 in terms of accounts that were billed, okay, and what could have showed the accounts, active accounts that were not billed. You get what I mean?
No.
So,
you know, I've given my answer. If you have another different answer, it's a different.
No, it's not about your answer.
Are you asking a further question?
It's about the audit.
Honorable members.
Chair, can I seek a clarification from you?
Honorable members, please. I know you are anxious to ask questions.
Governor.
But let's follow the procedure.
1.1.
First of all, the question, it's the chair to give you a chance to ask question. You don't just ask here without the approval of the chair. And then number 2, let's be systematic. You know, we are getting mixed up. We are handling 1.1. Let us exhaust the issue of access. Like Honorable Sifuna had asked, surely for 6 months, you can't access the premise to check the meter. I mean, once we have exhausted that, then we will go to the issue number 1.2, which the governor will respond to and will ask questions. Because we are now wasting time by going back and forth on these issues.
So, Chair, my understanding of this query is simple, okay? They are all correlated. There's a correlation here. That's why I wanted to ask that if it's possible, let the governor read all the responses up until 1.3, then you'll see the correlation I'm trying to bring. Because when you look at how number 1 has been answered, it informs number 2, where number 2, the issue of billing, the accounts billed and not paid have been brought, but the issue of discretion of the modeling is the answer, the response.
They're not connected at all. Number one is accounts where you have not seen the meter.
Yeah, Chair.
Number two, we have billed them, but they have not paid.
We
Those are
understand that,
different
Governor. Just maybe on that same question, clarification from the engineer or from the governor. Governor, paint for us a picture of these 15,000 accounts. Where ordinarily are these accounts that you would go for 6 months? Are they secure? Is this State House or is it security installations? Where are these places? Because you cannot tell me, with all the force that we see you, with all the force that we see the county government of Nairobi, even breaking down gates. There was an institution there, what was it called? A mosque or a synagogue, that you were clamping for it with all the might of Nairobi County government. You are telling us there's 15,000 people who you cannot access their meters, and also shed some light on who is supposed to do relocation of meters. Whose job is that to do relocation of meters? Engineer, just tell us where these 15,000 are. Are they security installations? What are they?
So, okay, let me combine the questions. Senator Kisang, Senator
thank you,
Mbugua, and
Chair.
then the governor will respond to all of them.
Thank you, Chair.
And,
You remember,
Amida.
Chair, you remember I told you earlier, number 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, and 4 were very closely related. We would have answered all of them together if you had accepted, but we accept your direction. Number one, Chair, on estimated accounts for more than 6 months. You know, the governor and the CEO has told us they are doing sensitization, but you know, they have not come out clearly to say they are already giving notices. If I cannot open my gate in Karen, there should be something you will drop under my gate so that in the evening when I come home, I'll have a notice from the county government saying, please allow us, or we give a date so that the meter can be relocated outside the gate. And then secondly, Honorable Speaker, I expected also, the CEO and the governor to tell us, if it is difficult to access, what plans do you have then to install smart meters so that you can disconnect without going there?
Yes, Senator Mbugua.
Thank you, Chair. Governor, I know these responses were prepared for you by your staff, but with all honesty, it is not possible that for 6 months consecutively, the same number of 15,320 from month 1 to 6, you are not, it was not able to access. Probably it would have been, the response would have been more accurate if this number is differing from 1 month to the other. But for it to be consistent, the same number for 6 months, it's not practical, Governor. Your people are misreading you.
Senator Amida.
Yeah, I think when CEO was asked what efforts has he made so far, and when CEO, maybe even for example, even where I live, they always give the who is this person who takes care? Is it the caretaker or someone? Gives notices to residents on when the meters are going to be read, and people, all the gates are opened. What legal and policy measures have you taken so far? Because, it has really taken time. And then how do you implement the fines and the penalties for that? Then how do you schedule the meter? Use inspectors. Because like the Kenya Power, they come once, the next time they disconnect, from even the poles or whatever. So what efforts have you made? It will take about 6 months, seriously. And you've not shown any efforts that you have made.
In fact, this is actually a big improvement, Chair. Chair, 15,000 meters accounts sound so many, but in the wider context, that's 6% of all the accounts in the city, 6%. So let me have the MD answer the specific questions to him. And even, cases even of attacks of this stuff, the areas where they are repulsed, just give them a full context so that they can understand. But within the context of 15,000 out of close to 300,000 accounts that are metered, that are, they're not estimated, Chair.
Thank you so much, through the chair again. Let me put it this way. we strive as much as possible to ensure we read all the meters in this town. And all these meters, we have referenced them through GIS system so that we can be able to assess them when we need. And we know where every meter is. At times, our staff go to those premises, actually, and dogs are opened to them. And we can provide evidence for that. At times, staff are crowbarred properly. We can provide evidence for all those things. And they become court cases, where our staff want to read the meter, the customers don't want the meter to be read. Or a staff, or whoever is left in the compound is maybe a house helper, and she has instructions. Don't allow anybody to come to this compound. When you try to go in, our staff, those people opens the door for them to mow them. Please, we have been trying to ensure we read all these meters. Just like the governor has said, we have around 250,000 account meters to read. We move around the whole city every month and we ensure these meters are read. These ones which we are saying, people, they are not being read. The others we have actually moved outside the compound, and we can provide evidence that we have been leaving the messages which Mheshimiwa is talking about. We leave even written documents to the customers. Please open your gate so that we can read the meters. Without doing that, we are going to move the meters. And we have been moving meters. We can provide that evidence of moving meters from customers' premises to the road. But
so as we speak today, engineer, of this 15,000.
ABY 268V.
We are sorry. Numbers here.
The meters, we know them often.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Would you put the movement at 10% so far, what you have done? Because that's the only solution.
Number?
Yes.
Of the 15,000?
Yes.
If you don't have the answer, don't answer.
I'm on off.
Okay.
So you give the
That's
if you don't know the answer, don't.
Chair, I'd also ask to understand the general geography of this 15,000 meters. What is the spread across the city? Where are these places where people have dogs?
It is citywide.
Citywide?
Yeah, including even a place like Buruburu, the areas where people don't allow you to enter.
But Engineer Muguna, through the governor, have you sought a court warrant to access these premises?
I think it's just it that there are many legal processes, including court cases. I think with such a response, really what I would suggest, Chair, is let's discuss how you can support us to read all of those meters, because we want all those meters, we want that revenue. But we're explaining the context. So you see, if you answer like that, you may not like, we're giving you the reality on the ground. Yeah, that is what actually happens.
Governor, we want to help. I think we are in agreement, we want to help. But when you go to the doctor and you tell them you have malaria and it's not malaria, it is something you picked up at Summertides, you know that is a big problem for us. You have to give us the true situation on the ground.
That is a true situation.
The initial answer he gave us here was that they go and find gates locked.
There are gate locks. They are when sometimes if you force the gate to be opened, people open doors, people fight with us.
So how would you like us to help you, Governor? I would be interested to know. Because
we should look at the legislation around how you penalize people who restrict access by public officers to actually bill you, whether it is Kenya Power or Nairobi Water. It should be a huge deterrence. You know, it should be something that is very punitive, and that is a legislation that we can do together with the Senate.
Does that require national legislation? Because it's a matter that is unique for Nairobi.
It requires national legislation. It's the same issue in Mombasa.
Have you had this conversation with the Assembly? Because city bylaws are there to help you, Governor.
No. This one needs national legislation because to implement it, you need national police, not Kanjo officers.
Senator Kisanga had asked about the smart meters.
We can explain the process we are at in getting into smart meters. Maybe you can give an overview.
Thank you so much. On the smart meters, Mheshimiwa, a mechanical meter, or the meters we use today, the average meters most of the customers use, who are around 96% of our customers. A smart mechanical meter will cost 3,500 shillings. A smart meter of the same size will cost you around 15 to 20,000 shillings. Now, when you look at what you are going to accrue by changing the meters from mechanical to smart meters, it will take you 20 or 30 years to recover the value. Water is a cheap commodity. The accuracy of a mechanical meter is between 3 to 5%. Accuracy of an electronic meter, I'm not talking about even a mechanical meter changed into a smart meter. I'm talking about a meter, an example of ultrasonic, where you are getting the signal direct being electric. So the errors are very low. That is 0.5 to 1%. Now, when you subtract those errors, that's what the value of the what the customer is billed. The difference between the two errors is what becomes the value you are going to accrue by changing the meters to smart meters. When you do the mathematics, you'll actually be creating jobs in a certain country and denying Kenyans jobs here. So it is not my advice to the country to move to smart meters as we talk today. Okay.
Chair. You see, when you say 15,000 accounts, they look small in number comparatively because of the fact that the governor would look at it like, okay, we have tried to estimate 112,000. But you see, this query is a P&L query. It's a query on revenue lost entirely if you go through it until 1.3. And my concern, Governor, and I still go back to it, and it's in good faith, because the documentation here is to help us when we are sitting now to address the queries. I think you address the queries to the auditors, and then we solve the queries. When we sit to solve the queries, we at the end of the day go to the written responses. You see everything that you're saying there, Governor. Your response to that 1.1 is just one statement. There is no access. But then what the MD is responding to is more comprehensive than what is written here. You see my concern? Because at the end of the day, how you will solve for this issue is pegged on how comprehensive you capture the challenges that you're facing. And then after capturing the challenges that you're facing, highlight some of even the remedies that could be put in place. Because just to say that, because what I'm going with after listening, Chair, is that one, there is no access, and therefore whether there is because of the dogs or the gates are closed, that is fine. But then the substantive response to it is sensitization to the customers. We will do some form of sensitizing the customers, and then hopefully this will work. The reason why that's problematic is because there's two parts of that query. There is those that add some form of access. That is about 97,300. And then there is those that you have consecutively not been able to access the 15,000 in question. The total of them brings you a revenue problem of over 700 million shillings. That's what should ring the bell. That it's not about the 15,000, it's about, or the 112,000, it's about the revenue that's going to be lost as a result of not being able to access them. So I appreciate your response now, which I don't appreciate in your one statement response to the committee. Chair, I don't know whether you're getting what I'm saying. The response here is not comprehensive enough to solve this problem. What you are saying is in fact, I'm now empathetic. But surely, even when Senator Sifuna was asking you about the map, is a question to us going to address where these problems are. So I wish that you could go and become more comprehensive with that answer in your written submission. Because otherwise there's no strategy to address this query at all. And maybe the auditor will be satisfied with the approach of having a comprehensive response to these questions.
Chair, you know, everything we have said is about accessing the meter. If the response is to give wider context, Chair, you'll never respond to all these queries because you'll write paragraphs. Now I start describing dogs and start describing house girls being told not to open gates. The question is, why did you estimate? The answer is there was no access. And this is what we're doing to sort out that issue, including relocation of these meters. Now, the reason we come here is to then give further context to the response to our queries. I think that's the reason we have in this session. And it's still part of the process, Chair. So that is our response.
Chair.
The big question, Chair, sorry.
Let me ask Mark to weigh in, and then honorable members, because of time, let's move to 1.2, the next one.
Thank you, Chair. From the context of the audit, or when we're carrying out our audit, what would have expected for this query to be explained to clearly was, would have expected a report, because we'd expect that the meter readers write reports to their supervisors, to the next level. Until then, we'd see a report indicating these premises will not be accessed because of this issue, and then we'd have expected to see what then that supervisor did towards gaining access. Under the Water Act, we also have the Water Police. Has this been reported to Water Police that we need to access meters for reading? So that then would have formed documentary evidence for us then to be satisfied and to inform this committee that that issue has been adequately addressed. So, Chair, in the absence of that, then we still hold that the matter is still not addressed. Thank you, Chair.
Those are available. I don't think at any point it was asked for.
Yeah.
If you look at the structure, the meter reader is accountable to a supervisor. Goes all the way to the regional manager. Those daily incident reports are available, and we'll be very happy to give them to you.
Chair, just the big question is, why are they being still provided with water? Kwani wanapewa maji mpaka sai?
There are many areas where if you intervene, you will affect those who are properly served, as opposed to these ones who are estimating. And by the way, the issue of estimates vis-a-vis receipts, they are paying. You know, the query is not that these ones who are estimating are not paying, but they're paying based on the estimate, you know. Of course, it will be more efficient if it was, you know, specific, as you have said, which is why I'm saying we need to explore how you help us ensure that Nairobians know it's a crime to deny access to the water meter reader and to the power, electricity, or any other public officer, you know, executing his mandate. So we can give the incident reports, the daily logs. I don't know if were they asked for.
No, they were not asked.
See, Chair, it is for the entity. Once a query has been asked, like that progress report of the number of meters that you've been able to move, what you've done, that would satisfy the auditor, Governor, as to what you are doing as an entity. And then you say, progressively engineer that in the next 5 years or so, we will have phased out this issue of estimating meters. And I've never had anyone in this day and age running away from technology that will help you to be able to resolve your problem. So I was a bit shocked, Governor, that it is the thinking of the Nairobi County government that technology is bad. That you would not advise people to adopt technology. We are doing smart meters in electricity, Governor.
That is what your view is. That's not the position. He has explained the cost vis-a-vis the return on the accuracy of a smart meter and what do you call this? And the mechanical meter. That's just what he said, you know. Chair, can I answer number 1.2?
Yeah, you can proceed to 1.2, but I just wanted to say, Makilaki is telling me that on page 5 of the report, there is a material uncertainty.
Which report?
In the audit report, material uncertainty in relation to going concern.
Which query is
that? Page 5, query number 8. Now, what I wanted to say is that all these issues about losses, they all build up towards that one. because they make now the company be unsustainable. Yeah, because we have that one. If you look at long outstanding trade receivables, 4 billion. So all that will build towards that main query on going concern of the company. So I think it's in the interest to try and find out a solution to this problem. And I think one of the solutions is legislation.
Yes.
Yeah. And there was a bill called Critical Infrastructure Bill, which was supposed to address such things.
Sure. Yes.
So I think maybe from our end we can try and fast track the legal aspects. But Engineer Muguna, you can't run away from technology. Technology will be expensive initially, but it will help you save a lot as you go on.
But Chair, you don't just adopt technology for the sake of it.
Yeah.
It must give a benefit. That's why you create it. Now, if the cost of it is actually, as you're saying, going concern, is not commensurate. Before you do any new, engagement, you do a viability, you do a feasibility study. You have to look at, what value is it adding to your customer, not for the sake of it. Otherwise, that will be the second query. That's what you'll be asking us next time, So sometimes it sounds very exciting. But, and I'll give you an example. We did a whole study with Sureka about, not Sureka, there was a big study on solar streetlights. And, Chair, these are experts globally who have shown us that we're at the point of technology we have today, because it's 1,000 years to solarize the whole of the city. In 3 years, most of those lights are lighting from 6 to 9 p.m. and going off. And you have to replace. It sounds nice to say let's run towards this technology, but you have to be prudent in understanding what are the real facts, what is the cost, how do you install it, what benefit are we getting. So, as we believe in technology, Chair, that is how we've raised the highest revenue of Nairobi Water. He's told you about the GIS. I have a dashboard. I can tell what everyone is paying every day from across the city, But before I got into office, they had only hit 8.9 billion. First year we did 10.5. This last year you've done what, 12.13? 11.8 billion. It's going up, and that is our intention. But it can only go up when you're prudent in the decisions you make. You don't just do it for the whims that it sounds nice to do 1, 2, 3. Those are management decisions, Chair.
Okay, let's make progress.
So 1.2.
1.1, you can read them simultaneous. 1.2, 1.3.
Now, for smart meters. If a country like UK, London uses mechanical meters, the meters are manufactured in UK and most of those European countries.
Maybe
you go to Amsterdam.
Muguna, let the governor read the response and then you can.
It's about the.
It's just adding context to the issue of smart meters. He's saying
if you go to Amsterdam, which I know many of us go.
Avoid that, yeah. Please just speak for yourself, engineer. Speak for yourself.
Anyway, thank you. Thank you. If you Google where you are seated, I believe everybody has a smart meter here. If you Google, you will find the smart phone. You will find Thames Water in London uses mechanical meters. You will find Waternet of Netherlands uses mechanical meters. And you will find many of those countries, they actually even started metering water 2012, not even.
Okay, so now that you have Googled, how many workers in those water companies have been set upon by dogs because somebody refused to open a gate in London? How does it happen there in Amsterdam?
Now, it doesn't happen in those countries because.
Yeah, so please compare apples to apples. The situation in London is totally different from our situation here.
The countries manufacturing the smart meters are not using them. That's the point the MD has made. They're manufacturing for people who would be excited by the word smart meter, but they are not implementing it.
Chair,
1.2.
Chair, I know we want to move to 1.2, but I always wear the blue hat in this in this committee, Governor. At the end of the day, this exercise must end on a resolved query. Are we getting it, Chair? it must end to resolve query. So, Chair, I wanted a direction on how does the governor approach query number 1 in terms of documentary evidence that is supposed to be given to the auditor within watch time, because while we might over-focus on the issue of access, we have also had, and that's why you have got EACC there, we've also had dubious bins where corrupt meter readers are also there. That would also be another issue. So in the absence of that documentary evidence, you take the word, the verbal statement of the governor's officers as law, which is not necessarily always the truth. I'm not imputing any improper motive on the.
Is the issue of the corrupt water meters in the audit?
It is not,
an allegation,
but
it
can also be a potential reason for the lack of access.
Okay,
okay.
Honorable
So
members.
if there's no direction on the evidence, documentary evidence, as a direction, Chair, then these are access in futility.
Okay, I think the governor mentioned that there are incident reports.
Incident reports in the logs.
So maybe we can ask the auditor. Auditor, you can try and sample out the incident reports for these accounts.
We would want them to come physically.
Yes.
You can imagine how many there are.
There are many.
Very, very bulky.
So I think that's very important. Number 2, we have directed that maybe the issue of legislation be looked at. Yeah. But this query remains unresolved because the auditor will continue raising it. So long as people, the estimated accounts are still there, I'm sure the auditor will continue raising it until the query is fully.
I think it would have been useful also to show cumulatively over the past few years, is this number going up or down? You know, because there's been tremendous progress. So this 15,000, which is 6%, is actually a great reduction.
So let me direct like this. The auditor, you will look at the incident reports. You look at, you analyze the trend from the other years to present and provide those reports to us maybe in the next 30 days.
Chad, they should not forget the update on the meters from the 15,000, what they have done so far, the ones that have been relocated and so on and so forth, and then they can give a time estimate on when they think all those 15,000 will be done.
Yeah, that's another, but that now will be a response from the county government. I see EACC, you are trying to raise your hand.
Chair, I think for me it's just to find out in terms of prevention, because I see they mentioned the issue of self-reading, where they are sensitizing the customer to do the self-reading, which we are aware even KPLC has taken something similar. And I just wanted to find out maybe how it's done and the progress in terms of the uptake from the customers. Thank you. The other issue could be the issue. Yes, the second issue is the aspect of the estimate, whether the estimate is usually lower, or how do you ensure that the estimate is maybe higher than the actual reading, just trying to make sure it's higher, it's punitive, so that these customers can maybe come to the office to complain or something.
Now, yeah, thank you so much.
You can proceed.